welcome to Shapeshifter Martial Arts. Today you're going to have a sneak peek into our foundations kickboxing class and how we teach beginners using the constraints-led approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our partner. What Cornelius is going to do is he's going to have his left foot forwards, and for this round I'm also going to have my left foot forward. So for the whole round, try and keep your left foot forwards. That's the only thing that you have to do with your footwork. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to practice our lead hand. So we're going to develop the jab. Okay, it's the front hand. So because my left foot's at the front, the left hand is the jab. The only requirement with your jab is that it has to be a straight punch and it has to be full extension with your arm. Does that make sense? Okay, what you're going to aim at is your partner's shoulder lines. The three targets I'm looking for is that shoulder, the middle of his chest, and the other shoulder on that side. Then with the lower body, what we're going to do is you're going to take your back leg and you're going to try and kick the outside of the lead leg. So you're going to take the bottom part of your shin over here and try and place it anywhere on the meaty part of your partner's leg. What Cornelius is going to do is he's going to bring his hands up and he's going to glue them to his forehead, and we're just going to focus on the idea of blocking today. When you are working offense, you are going to try and hit into any one of those three openings, full extension with your arm, and you're going to try and put the bottom part of your shin on your partner's leg. When you're defending, you're going to try and use your forearms and your shin with the lead leg to defend. Both people are punching, both people are kicking. It's going to feel clumsy and feel overwhelming, right? But just focus on developing that lead hand, that jab. So look for openings and then look for openings on that leg. And then work your lead hand and the rear kick. What's important to understand about any striking art is that it's about finding openings. So you don't want to spaz combinations or force combinations. It's all about looking for openings. I'm looking for an opening and then trying to hit into the opening. When you're defending, you're trying to block and cover openings. So we're going to add to the previous round. Okay. What you're allowed to do this round now is, again, you're still working the lead hand. So left foot forward, left hand is looking for openings. And you're allowed to kick now to the inside or the outside of your partner's leg. So if you're standing in that stance, you're attacking that lead leg. So you're looking for the inside, the meaty part here, or the outside, meaty part here. When you're defending, again, hands come up. You're just focusing on blocking today. Try and get comfortable with using your forearms and your shin to put it in the way and to block your partner. When it comes to checking the kick, the most important thing I want you to focus on is doing it in a way that you're still in balance. So if you check the kick, but every time your partner kicks, you stumble and fall over, I want you to see how can you adjust your leg so that you can block it without losing balance when your partner's kicking. Does that make sense? Okay. Both of us are punching, both of us are defending. You are looking for openings and you're focusing on blocking. We're punching to the shoulder line because it's a really easy way for you to get used to people trying to hit you and take impact, right? But I want you to treat it with the same seriousness as if somebody was going to punch you in the head. So if Cornelius drops his hands here, if I can land a clean jab on his chest, boom, that could have been a shot, bang, to the chin or the nose. If I'm able to create an angle and get to his shoulder here, I would have been able to hit the side of the head there. If I can get to the shoulder there, over there. So when you're defending, I want you to try and block that shoulder line as best as you can and treat it as if the person's trying to hit you in the face. What we're going to do now is we're going to focus on hitting with both hands. Okay, so the same restriction again, just for this session, I want you to keep your left foot forward. How many of you are feeling the urge to want to switch your stance all the time? Hey, and that's normal and perfectly fine. But for today, we're just going to, just to keep things simple, just work left foot forward so that you just start developing that lead side. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to be able to hit with both arms. You're going to work your jab and your cross. Your jab and your cross are two straight line shots. Now with the jab and the cross, it's the same thing. You want to get full extension with your arm, you want to land with your knuckles, and you want to make sure that you're punching in a straight line. If you're not punching straight, it's not a jab or a cross. What Cornelius is going to do is he's just going to defend the straight punches, and he's going to be kicking this round. He's going to try and develop his straight line kicks. In Muay Thai, they call the lead leg a teep, kind of like in boxing where the jab is the lead hand. Okay? So all you're going to do for me with your legs, you're going to try and lift your knee up so that you can get nice full range of motion. And your goal is to try and put your toes on your partner's belly button. If Cornelius is kicking, he can either use the lead leg, yes, or the rear leg onto my belly button. That's his target that he's looking for. So one person is working the jab and the cross, and the other person is working their push kicks. Now, how do we defend against those straight kicks? You're going to try and use your hands to catch at the end of the lever or parry and deflect the shot. Okay, we're going to work catch and release. So you catch for 1 or 2 seconds and you let go. Grab your partner, decide who's kicking and who's punching the first round. When the timer goes off, the next round we swap. And it's the other person's turn to punch and the other person's turn. Does that make sense? Okay, grab a partner and let's go. Left foot forwards, guys. Straight punches, straight kicks. This next round, both of us are punching. So again, left foot in the lead. You're allowed to work both hands, full extension, and both legs, full extension. Your targets, shoulder line and belly button. Does that make sense? Okay. And when you're defending the upper body, using your forearms or you're trying to catch ankles. Some of you are kind of lifting and then pulling back. So you're kind of like feinting and then pulling back. You're not committing to the kick, okay? Now that's fine if you're trying to create openings or trying to feint at your partner, but you also have to develop the confidence of letting that leg go. So every time you kick, I want you to get full extension with that leg and push through. Try and land with your toes on the person's belly button. If Cornelius eats the kick, it is good for him because he's getting conditioned and used to getting kicked. And it shows him where the holes are in his defense. I also develop my confidence to actually throw those kicks. I want you to get familiar with what your reach is, how far away somebody needs to be for you to get full extension, for you to still land. Obviously, your legs have more reach than your punches, so I want you to try and navigate that space, okay? When somebody's catching your ankle, you want to get really, really good at being on one leg, because you're going to see in the beginning when people catch your leg, sometimes you fall over immediately, but the more you do it, you'll learn how to stay calm, distribute your weight, and not freak out and panic when people catch your legs. It's kind of similar to jiu-jitsu and grappling, where with a single leg, right, you're going to be spending a lot of time hopping on one leg, so eventually you're going to get good at it. So it's good for you that your partner is catching your legs, because after a while you get desensitized to it. So in the drill, keep it real. Your partner won't get upset with you. They know what the game is. Be careful of kicking the groin. Your target is your partner's belly button. You're going to try and put everything together now. Try your best to keep the left foot forwards. You're working the jab, the cross, and the lead hook to the shoulder line. You're working your straight kicks to the midsection, and you're trying to kick the inside and the outside of the lead leg. And when I'm defending, I'm either using my forearms and my shins to block, or maybe catch with my hand. You are going to mess it up. It's going to be clumsy, but you are taking hits and giving out hits against a resisting partner. You're doing live work, and all of that builds skill. So it's just a game of tag, fundamentally. That's what all of striking is can I hit the other person and prevent them from hitting me? When we talk about CLA and the constraints-led approach, which is my approach to teaching, is that you'll notice that I almost always try to give you external focus of attention. I try to get you away from constantly thinking about what's my foot doing, where's my weight, am I keeping my chin tucked, are my elbows in, are my hands up? All of the danger is coming from where? The other person. They're the person that's hitting you, so you don't want to clutter your mind constantly trying to focus on what you should be doing and what the other person is doing. For me, you have an hour, let's spend a whole hour with a human body in front of you that's trying to hit you back, that's giving you openings. You guys see, it's not so easy to find openings, right? How many times today did you hit into arms and forearms and the person moved and they turn and you go with a different partner, now the openings are all different every single time. When you hit the bag, it's easy. It feels amazing. You're just landing all the time. You try and hit another human being and it's like never clean and it's clumsy and you have to be all precise and then you have to worry about them hitting you back. But that's the actual game. That's also, in my opinion, the most fun.